Well, first of all, I think respect is more important. The most important thing. When we try to train them to, when they go in the room, make sure to knock on the door first, and make sure that they deliver the right tray to the right person, and just ask everything what they need, and then just make sure to say thank you, and just make sure everything is done right.
You have to be an excellent listener, and I think you can't put folks into a recipe book and kind of cater their care toward a specific set of guidelines. I think you really have to do a lot of listening and let the patient know that their problem is very unique and that you're there to listen to them and that you've got they have your full attention.
Dear Ms. Savitsky, we would like to extend our sincere thanks to your amazing nursing staff at Skyridge Medical Center. We were admitted July 31st, 2006 for a cesarean section to deliver our twins. From the moment we entered the second floor lobby, every nurse treated us like we were their only patient. They explained everything in detail and were incredibly kind and considerate dealing with us and my family. They never acted as though any question was one they'd heard a million times or that they had something else they needed to do. The nurses in the NICU even spent time just sitting with us during many a 2 a.m. feeding, really making us feel like we were the only patients they had. Looking around, we saw they gave every parent and baby this treatment.
About a year ago, we had a very serious bleeding episode with a patient here at the hospital, and when it's a very serious bleeding episode, the whole laboratory is involved, not just the blood bank, and we were all hopping, and we did a really good job for this patient. The whole hospital did a really good job for this patient. Everyone was right there doing what they needed to do, and she survived, and she was here for quite some time after that. And even here in the laboratory, again, we don't get to see the patients very often, but some of us went to visit her, and she sent thanks back to us for saving her life, and we were all in tears.
And I had some surgery. Ended up having an emergency hysterectomy. And then in that state, I went into something called DIC, where my blood clotting factors kind of went haywire. So just the one woman who had come back, I think you said she was the head of the blood bank here, and she would come in and she would check on me, and every time she came in, you don't love seeing her come in the door since she's going to take your blood. But then when she'd come in, she would say, "You're doing so much better, you're doing so much better." And I felt like she was taking a special interest in me and checking back on me. And she would tell me, "You're doing better and better. You're like, let's keep it up." And and she'd come back and tell me what my numbers were climbing, and I was looking better. I also thought that the ICU nurses were the best, and the thank you just doesn't seem to cut it anymore, to say thank you so much for everything that all the nurses and all the staff at Skyridge did for us and for our family.
Went into the emergency room, and when I told them I was a little short of breath, I moved right to the front of the line, didn't have to wait, and immediately they were able to tell us that I had a murmur and have had a valve problem, which I was not aware of, had not known up to that point, had not had a valve problem, had been to my doctor every year for annual checkups, and just had not known about this condition. And so we could have gone to the Cleveland Clinic, we could have gone to the Mayo Clinic, and could have gone back to other facilities, but we really felt like this is the right place to do it, and we felt like we had the right doctor to do it here after we did the research. The TLC we received from the physicians and the nurses and the technicians that would come in and do the various things, and also going the extra mile in terms of giving us advice and counsel and being very patient with a lot of anxiety in both of these procedures, the emergency room initially, and then coming back for the valve surgery. We had a lot of care was taken about anticipating what my concerns would be and making certain that I felt comfortable. Immediately you feel assured that this individual, be it the nurse or be it one of the techs that comes in to do the EEGs or the EKGs and all those different things on you, because you're interacting with them as well, that they have to have this degree of confidence that calms you down and makes you feel that trust that they know what's going on. And second, that they have this level of caring and compassion. So it's this unique mix of confidence and here's where we need to go in this leadership, and yet they're compassionate to understand that it might take a little while to get the patient where I want them to be.
Even the staff at the hospital, when I did labs, would walk me from one spot to the next. The nursing staff has been phenomenal. I love that they have their nurses station rolls in with them, and they've been able, when was your last medication? They can just look it up. Everything seems to be right there.
It starts with the valet, who actually starts to pick up the car. Right from the start, they set the tone for the entire experience. And it's up to the lobby receptionist, to the hospital nursing staff and physicians. Clearly, there's no doubt that the medical care has to be top-notch, but that's been pretty much standardized nowadays, so that we have to go beyond. And in the end, we cannot forget about hospitals being a healing center. And that includes the needs of the patient, not just medically, but also their personal needs, their spiritual needs, and that's all part of the package that we must provide for the patient care. And it is a tall order, I think, for most of us who were trained in the past, but with the new 21st century medicine that's being practiced in our society today, this is mandated, and we must provide the needs of the patients that actually today Ms. Burson was kind enough to share with us.
On behalf of my wife, I'm writing you this letter in appreciation for the wonderful experience we had at Sky Ridge during the delivery of our new baby. From the time we arrived, we were exceptionally well cared for. Once we checked into the delivery room, we were under the care of Sigrid, who made certain that my wife was completely comfortable. All of this was done while simultaneously caring for another patient who delivered just moments before us. Following delivery, Vonda took our newborn into the nursery to bathe her and get her all cleaned up. Once in our room, Bev checked in on us and assisted Carrie in getting herself cleaned up as well. I can't say enough when it comes to how much we appreciated Bev's caring and thoughtful ways. During the following day, Sally thoroughly prepared us for the road home, doing her best to prime us for all that we could experience in the days ahead. The people I've mentioned in this letter truly went above and beyond. Having served in the medical field, I have seen the standard level of care which was far exceeded throughout our experience at Sky Ridge. You have a marvelous team, and I hope you and both they know just how much of an asset they are to the overall success of Sky Ridge as a first-rate medical center.
Thank you for embracing these concepts, each one of us, whether at the bedside, tending to the nutritional needs of our patients, ensuring that the room is clean and restful, or providing safe and effective medications. All of us play a part in this overall patient experience. Our desire is to be number one in employee, physician, and patient satisfaction. Our continued focus on living our values to the fullest will enable us to achieve those goals. Our unwavering commitment to delivering compassionate care in a safe environment will ensure that our patients remember us long after their stay.